Congratulations for being here. Just by clicking on this video, you're already ahead of most people. Imagine what could happen if you had in your hands the secret that great names, like Napoleon Hill, used to transform their lives. The good news is that you're about to discover exactly that. The path to making more money, building confidence, and achieving success might be closer than you think. It all starts with a simple shift in your mindset, and you'll see how this is possible with one of the greatest masters on the subject, Napoleon Hill. Overcoming skepticism is the key to starting the transformation we all seek. Napoleon Hill teaches us that the biggest challenge in trying to adopt the principles of success is actually our own mind. Skepticism emerges as a barrier, a defense mechanism that many of us develop over time, whether due to past experiences or external influence. However, Hill warns us that this disbelief blocks our ability to absorb the powerful lessons about the limitless potential of thought. Hill believed that thought was more than just a passive mental process. To him, thought was an active form of energy, a force capable of changing the course of our lives. When we nurture positive thoughts and align them with a definite purpose, that energy transforms into action and consequently into concrete results. However, for this to happen, we need to let go of internal resistance. Skepticism, when fed, keeps us stuck in cycles of doubt and stagnation, unable to see the opportunities around us. Overcoming skepticism is just the beginning. Once we open our minds to the possibility that our thoughts shape our reality, it's time to understand how this process works in practice. Napoleon Hill places the power of the mind at the center of his lessons, showing us that thought not only influences, but also creates our life experiences. To consciously transform our lives, Hill introduces the fundamental concept of autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is, in essence, the process of planting positive ideas in our minds. Just like a seed planted in fertile soil grows into a tree, the thoughts we constantly repeat grow and shape our destiny. Hill teaches us that by replacing negative thoughts with positive ones, we reprogram our minds and consequently our actions. Often, we are prisoners of limiting beliefs imposed by past experiences or society, but with the practice of autosuggestion, we can break those chains and create a new reality. The power of repetition cannot be underestimated. When we affirm daily that we are capable of achieving success, that prosperity is within our reach, or that we have the power to overcome any challenge, we begin to shape a new vision of ourselves. Our mind is receptive to what we repeat with emotion and conviction, and the more we fill these words with belief, the deeper their influence on our thoughts and behaviors. This is the hidden power of autosuggestion, the constant reinforcement of a new mindset until it becomes our truth. Once we start to understand the power of autosuggestion, an important question arises. Where do the limiting thoughts that often sabotage our dreams come from? Napoleon Hill makes us take a closer look at the roots of these beliefs we carry, often without realizing it. He argues that many of our fears and limitations are inherited, passed down from generation to generation as invisible but heavy baggage. From childhood, we are shaped by the environment around us, our family, society, and even the experiences of those who lived before us. And this is where many of us find ourselves trapped. Imagine a child growing up in a home where money was always a problem. From an early age, they hear phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "We're poor and always will be." These ideas, even if said without malice, start to take root in the child's mind. Years later, as an adult, they may still unconsciously believe that financial success is distant and unattainable, because that's how they learn to see the world. Hill teaches us that although these beliefs may feel like part of who we are, they don't have to define our destiny. The first step in breaking free from these chains is to become aware that these limitations are imposed, not natural. What we've learned throughout life doesn't have to be the ultimate truth. Hill reminds us that just as we were conditioned to believe in certain limitations, we can also recondition ourselves to overcome them. The constant practice of autosuggestion is a powerful tool in this process. By repeating daily that success is possible, that we are capable of achieving what we desire, we begin to replace those old beliefs with new ones more aligned with our true goals. Overcoming inherited fears and limitations is crucial, but true transformation starts to happen when we develop something even more powerful: confidence in ourselves. Napoleon Hill always asserted that self-confidence is a force that can move mountains. But what few may realize is that this confidence doesn't come from nowhere. It's built, often by overcoming those very fears imposed on us since childhood. Hill tells stories of great leaders who, before being admired for their achievements, were ordinary people full of doubts and fears. A classic example he frequently mentions is Henry Ford. When Ford introduced his revolutionary idea of an affordable car for the masses, he faced not only skepticism, but also a lack of support, even from those close to him. He could have succumbed to the fear of failure, the fear of being ridiculed, or the fear of not measuring up. But he didn't. Ford believed so strongly in his vision that this confidence eventually attracted the opportunities and resources needed to bring his dream to life. Self-confidence, as Hill explains, doesn't mean being free from doubt. We all, at some point, feel insecure. However, the difference between those who move forward and those who remain paralyzed lies in their ability to combat those feelings. It starts with small daily acts of belief in oneself. That's why Hill emphasizes the practice of autosuggestion. By constantly repeating positive affirmations like, "I am capable," and "I deserve success," we begin to change how we see ourselves and eliminate the fear that holds us back. Now we naturally come into contact with one of the most powerful concepts in Napoleon Hill's lessons, the law of attraction. Hill teaches us that just as our thoughts directly affect our self-perception, they also influence the world around us. What we focus on most intensely, whether positive or negative, inevitably begins to manifest in our lives. Hill explains that our thoughts work like a magnet. If we spend our days feeding ideas of success, prosperity, and confidence, we end up attracting people, opportunities, and situations that align with these vibrations. It's not just a vague desire, but a real connection between what we think and what we experience. A clear example of this is how, when we're focused on achieving something big, suddenly coincidences happen. We meet the right people, unexpected doors open, and the path unfolds before us. But Hill warns us about the other side of this coin. When we allow our thoughts to be dominated by fear, doubt, and insecurity, the same principle applies. Negativity becomes a mental pattern that we start attracting into our reality. You may have noticed how, in moments of despair or pessimism, it seems like everything starts going wrong. It's no coincidence. This happens because, without realizing it, we're directing our energy toward those negative emotions, and the universe responds in the same frequency. The law of attraction teaches us that our thoughts shape our reality, but Napoleon Hill also reminds us of something equally fundamental: the power of the people around us. The support of others, especially those who believe in us and our potential, can be the crucial element in turning an idea into a reality. No matter how strong our self-confidence is, there's no denying that, at many points in the journey, the encouragement of others gives us the strength we need to continue, especially when the challenges seem greater than our abilities. Hill was always clear in saying that no one achieves great things alone. He tells the story of Thomas Edison, the inventor who failed thousands of times before creating the electric light bulb. Edison had people by his side who believed in his vision, even when success seemed distant. Without that support, he might not have had the resilience needed to keep going. The role of a partner, friend, or mentor who supports us can often be the factor that prevents us from giving up just when we're about to reach success. This type of support isn't just about encouraging words. Sometimes it's the example of someone who has already walked the path to success, or in other cases, it's an external perspective that helps clarify our own limitations and possibilities. Hill explains that support isn't just emotional, but also strategic. Surrounding yourself with people who share your vision or have complementary skills can accelerate your progress. One of Hill's most recommended practices is creating a mastermind group, a gathering of people who regularly meet to share ideas, motivate each other, and find solutions to problems. He believed that the synergy created by these aligned minds could produce something much greater than the sum of its parts. Once we understand the power of the law of attraction and the impact of the people around us, Napoleon Hill introduces another essential piece in the puzzle of success: the habit of repetition. If there's one thing Hill makes clear, it's that our mind works like fertile soil, and the ideas we plant in it repeatedly become our reality. But for this to happen, it's not enough to think positively once and expect a miracle to happen. You have to insist, repeat, and make it a habit. Hill gives us an important insight. Our brain is shaped by repetition. Just as we learn to ride a bike or drive a car without much thought, we can train our mind to think positively and constructively. It works like this. The more we repeat affirmations of confidence, success, and prosperity, the more these ideas take root in our subconscious. And it's in the subconscious where the real magic happens. Gradually, without realizing it, we start acting according to these new patterns of thought. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, we begin to concentrate on the opportunities around us. What once seemed difficult or impossible becomes natural. Believe it, it's like training a muscle. The more you repeat, the stronger it gets. But it's not just about repeating for the sake of it. Hill teaches us that for these repetitions to have a lasting effect, we need something fundamental behind them: faith. And here's one of the most powerful points of his teaching. He shows us that faith is the true engine behind any great achievement. Without it, even the most disciplined repetition loses its power. And what is faith to Hill? It's that unshakable belief that success will happen, even if the path is full of obstacles. When we look at examples like Thomas Edison or the Wright brothers, we see that they had no guarantees of success. Edison, before inventing the light bulb, failed thousands of times, and the Wright brothers, before achieving flight, were ridiculed by many. However, both continued to believe. They had a deep faith in their ideas, a faith that didn't waver in the face of difficulties. Hill explains that faith doesn't need to be tied to religion or mysticism, but rather to a sincere and unshakable belief in yourself and what you're trying to achieve. It's this confidence that will keep you going, even when others doubt you or when things seem tough. The more you nurture this faith, the more you propel your mind and heart toward your goals. When Hill talks about the habit of saving, he prompts us to reflect on something very simple but often overlooked: the importance of setting aside a portion of what we earn. It doesn't matter if your salary is large or small. Saving is a powerful message to your brain that you are in control. This habit, often seen as a sacrifice, is actually a key to freedom. The money saved today is not only a relief for future emergencies, but also the fuel for opportunities that haven't even appeared on your radar yet. Interestingly, Hill never discusses saving as something restrictive or boring. For him, saving is a mental exercise. It's a way of programming your brain to think in terms of abundance and prosperity. If you spend everything you earn, no matter how hard you work, you'll always be trapped in a cycle of scarcity. But when you develop the habit of setting aside even a small portion, you start to realize how this gives you confidence and opens doors for the future. Now, when the conversation shifts to debt, things get more serious. Hill is clear. Debt is one of the biggest thieves of your progress. Imagine you're in a boat rowing towards success, But without noticing, there's a hole that's draining your energy and pulling you backward. That hole is debt. It not only drains your money, but also your motivation. The weight of debt can destroy your self-confidence and limit your decisions because everything becomes focused on paying what I owe rather than how can I grow. The problem is that many get trapped in this cycle, trying to balance the bills without ever addressing the root of the problem, spending beyond one's means. Hill doesn't say you should fear spending, but emphasizes the importance of spending wisely, and most importantly, avoiding the vicious cycle of debt. When we're free from this burden, we're able to think more clearly, see opportunities, and make bold decisions without the looming shadow of overdue bills. Napoleon Hill always emphasized that when it comes to achieving great things, initiative is everything. And here's a truth he constantly reminds us. People who wait for things to happen often get left behind. Those who act, who take the reins and make things happen, stand out. Think of the times when you saw an opportunity but hesitated, waiting for someone to tell you what to do. Now compare that to the moment when you acted on your own, took the initiative, and reaped the rewards. This is what Hill is talking about. The greatest rewards come to those who take the lead. Initiative is more than just starting something. It's also the ability to keep moving forward, even when no one is watching or when conditions seem unfavorable. This is what separates leaders from followers. Leaders have a clear vision of what they want, and instead of being paralyzed by indecision, they act. They don't wait for the perfect sign or absolute certainty that everything will work out. They know that quick and decisive actions move mountains, and it's this proactive attitude that inspires those around them. But Hill makes an important distinction here. Being a leader isn't just about taking initiative and giving orders. The real secret of effective leadership lies in cooperation and building harmony. Many confuse leadership with authority or imposing power, but Hill teaches that leadership based on control and authoritarianism is doomed to fail in the long run. On the other hand, constructive leadership, which works toward the growth of everyone and values the autonomy of others, creates lasting and sustainable results. Imagine a leader who not only guides their team, but does so by promoting an environment of mutual trust and cooperation. This leader doesn't just impose their ideas, but listens, collaborates, and values the input of everyone around. They understand that great achievements don't depend on one person, but on teamwork, where each individual feels like an important part of the process. This is what Hill calls constructive leadership, the type of leadership that builds bridges and creates synergy, rather than erecting walls and causing division. In a company, a project, or even in personal life, cooperation is the magic ingredient that makes leadership truly transformative. An effective leader isn't afraid to delegate or empower others because they know that by doing so, they're not losing power, but expanding the reach of their achievements. Hill reminds us that those who can lead with harmony, building alliances, and promoting an environment of cooperation are the ones who go the furthest, because no one achieves anything grand alone. Napoleon Hill teaches us that imagination is the starting point for any great achievement. It's like the workshop of the mind, where we create visions and ideas that don't yet exist in the physical world, but, with the right action, can become reality. Think of great innovators like Thomas Edison. Before creating the light bulb, he had to imagine something that no one had done before. Hill shows us that this power to visualize what doesn't yet exist, whether it's a solution, a product, or a new path, is one of our most valuable resources. Without imagination, we'd be trapped by the limitations of the present, unable to see a future full of possibilities. However, having a great idea or powerful vision is useless without enthusiasm behind it. This is where Hill gives us another key piece. Enthusiasm is the force that drives imagination into action. When you're truly excited about something, you feel that energy surging through you. making you want to get out of bed and work on your project. Enthusiasm is contagious. It not only moves you but also inspires those around you to engage and believe in what you're building. That's why Hill emphasizes this energy so much. It's the fuel that transforms what's in your mind into something concrete. Without enthusiasm, even the best ideas remain stagnant. On the other hand, Hill also warns that enthusiasm without control can be like an uncontrolled fire. It can lead you to act impulsively without thinking about the consequences. This is where the importance of self-control and discipline comes in. When you have control over your emotions and maintain balance, you can channel your enthusiasm productively, avoiding rash decisions that could hurt your progress. Self-control is about knowing when to act and when to wait. It's the ability to not be swayed by feelings like anger, anxiety, or envy, which can easily derail you. Hill reminds us that to achieve success, discipline is essential for staying focused, even in moments of excitement or difficulty. If you're still here, know that you're already different from others. Staying until the end shows that you're committed to changing your life. Now, I want you to practice the law of attraction right here. Leave a comment with the phrase, "I am prosperous and in control of my destiny." By writing this, you're already starting to attract more prosperity into your life. And when I see your comment, I'll like it, because I truly admire the people on this channel who are striving for a better future. And before you go, don't miss the chance to continue your journey of knowledge. Click on the video appearing on your screen now about how Bernard Arnault, the richest man on the planet, mastered the art of wealth. This video is essential for understanding the secrets of those who've truly reached the top. And I'm sure you need to watch it if you want to achieve the same level of success.